The Trump administration is proud to announce several further measures we are adopting to reverse the consequences of the disastrous Obama-era policies and finally end the glamorization of socialism and communism. We are standing with the freedom-loving patriots of this region. We are correcting the mistakes and undoing the damage. When I was in Miami in November of last year, I promised you that this administration would conduct a serious review on terminating Helms-Burton Title III waivers. Today, following that serious review, I am pleased to stand before you and announce that President Trump has decided to end the Helms-Burton Title III waivers once and for all. Americans who have had their private and hard-earned property stolen in Cuba will finally be allowed to sue. In addition, for the first time in many years, we will be taking clear action to implement Title IV. Anyone who traffics in property stolen from Americans will not be issued a visa to the United States. They are not welcome here. Today, we are also announcing 5 additions to the Cuba restricted list, which prohibits direct financial transactions with entities tied to Cuba's military, intelligence, and security services and personnel. These additions include Aero Gaviota, owned by the Cuban military, among others. These actions should be a signal to all that working with the Cuban military and intelligence services will not be tolerated. We are also announcing that the Department of the Treasury will implement further regulatory changes to restrict non-family travel to Cuba. These new measures will help steer American dollars away from the Cuban regime or its military and security services who control the tourism industry in Cuba. Through the Treasury Department, we will also implement changes to end the use of U-turn transactions, which allow the regime to circumvent sanctions and obtain access to hard currency in the U.S. banking system. I told you the media didn't have everything. In addition, we will also be announcing new limits on remittances to Cuba. Under the last administration's failed policies, such limits were completely lifted under the assumption that capital inflows would benefit the Cuban people. Yet the situation for Cubans has in fact worsened, not improved. We know that families in the United States want to help their loved ones in Cuba, and we want Cubans to get the support they need and deserve. For this reason, our new limits will be $1,000 per person per quarter. The Cuban people are forced to survive on a paltry living wage, and we know that these remittances are critical to families.